AITA for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair. AITA for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair. Originally posted to r/AITA AITA for not attending bachelorette trip. April 19, 2021. My best friend is getting married this June and I am one of the bridesmaids. Her bridesmaid trip is set for end of May in Chicago. We will be driving there and it's over 4 days. However, I don't want to attend the trip anymore. We have booked the Airbnb, which was $176 per person, and I paid my portion. Her demands from us for a wedding have gotten out of hand. Her wedding is over 3 days and we have 3 different bridesmaids dresses which have cost me $700 and it cost $200 to get them altered. Makeup for the weekend is $225 per person and I haven't even gotten my shoes or jewelry. Not to mention she is requiring us to have certain hairstyles which would require hair extensions which would cost me at least $200. Financially this is becoming too much for me. I now agreed to be her bridesmaid and will fulfill my duties during the wedding. However, going to Chicago and spending all that money is something I am no longer willing or able to do. I won't be asking back my portion of the Airbnb because that was my contribution I made willingly. I have yet to tell her that I won't be going to Chicago, but I am the bad person for not going. Up until now I have attended and participated in every way as a bridesmaid and been there when she needs me, but the trip is too much. Verdict, not the asshole. Relevant comments. The Tone Girl Jan. Info. Did you talk to her about it becoming a financial burden for you, and if so did she try to accommodate some of the costs for you? Oop. I have talked to her about the change in my financial situation, mostly because of a job change and also unexpected health costs for a health condition. She did help with the dress alterations by sending me $50, so that made my contribution $200. Every help counts and I deeply appreciate it. However, it still doesn't change that Chicago is a stretch for me. Confused artist NTA. Those are outrageous demands. Who is this chick? Is she super wealthy? Oop, let's just say the wedding costs way more than the down payment for a big house. Confused artist. Wow. That's insane. I assume you're still going to the wedding, right? Did you tell bride you're not going on the trip? Edit. Wait, no. I reread. I see you haven't asked. How do you think she will react? Oop, yes. I'm still part of the wedding and I will doing everything that is local until then. I am helping with the wedding shower with the other bridesmaids as well. I have yet to tell her because I do feel guilty for not going, but also I am overwhelmed by it all. And I don't think she'll be happy and it might be a little uncomfortable for a while. But I hope she will see that if I could do it, I would. AITA for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair. August 13, 2021. For my friend's 3-day wedding, I had to buy 3 different dresses, including alterations, and specific shoes which totaled over $700. She also wanted specific hairstyles for each day. Unfortunately, starting in March my hair started to deteriorate. Due to health reasons my hair was falling out in chunks, and in May I made the difficult decision to cut my hair. I told the bride about my decision 2 weeks before the wedding and she didn't say anything bad. The following week, she came over to my house and when she was about to leave, she brought up that she was concerned about my haircut, and I told her it would look good even though I wouldn't be uniform with the other bridesmaids. The following day I received this message. After our recent conversations, I'd like to remind you of my boundaries. I've been very accommodating and graceful, but I can't allow you to disrespect me. As you know, my wedding has been something I've dreamt of for many years. Husband, and I have invested a lot of money into the video and photos of this day, and as we reflect on this day in the further, we want to see our vision reflected in the memories. Since I asked each of you to be bridesmaid in 2019, I've been very clearly and very communicative in my request. The timing of your decision to cut your hair and not come in advance is very upsetting to me. I would have felt respected if you had communicated with me more than a week prior to the wedding, so we could have worked together to find a collaborative solution. Your inconsistencies have concerned me, and while I sympathize with your health concerns, I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you, or anyone else, when you have informed me in advance and we could have found a better solution. Since this is something you can no longer fully commit to, I need you to please step down from participating in my wedding. This was 3 days before the wedding. I immediately sent her and her husband an invoice asking them to reimburse for the dresses and shoes. Keeping in mind that one of the dresses is still in her possession even though I paid for it. Neither of them replied, and so I decided to take it to court. I was told I was inconsistent and selfish after I spent the past 2 weeks helping her plan the wedding shower. I worked with another bridesmaid to surprise her with a bridal shower after our bachelorette trip had to be cancelled. I spent hours helping her out with wedding details. When she asked me to help her tone up before the wedding, I sent her a personalized workout program and even went with her to the gym to show her the ropes. When I agreed to be her bridesmaid, I was more than willing to oblige with what she asked, even if at times it was a lot of time and money. So am I the bad person for taking her to court because she kicked me out for cutting my hair? Verdict: not the asshole. Relevant comments. Oh boy. I'm very sorry about your health situation op. NTA. This is not how a friend would treat another friend, and a supposedly valued one at that, since she asked you as a bridesmaid. I'm also sorry you found out this way. This woman is not your friend. Oop, that's honestly what sucks the most. I thought our friendship was much deeper than that. The fact that she was at the house the night before for 3 hours just hanging out, talking and helping her with wedding stuff just to receive this the next day. I know for sure I don't want her in my life, but that doesn't negate that she's someone I loved, cared for, and all the memories of our friendship. Usen, NTA. Since when is cutting your own hair crossing someone's boundaries? Feels like she wants her bridesmaids to be carbon copies of each other. This girl is going to be a real pickle for her husband. Gonna suck to be him. Good luck on the lawsuit. Make sure you add up everything you've spent towards this wedding. Oop. She's definitely a handful. As much as I would love to ask for all the money back, which comes up to almost $2,000, I decided to just ask for the money spent on dresses, dress alterations and shoes because I can't use them for anything, they aren't my style, and selling them will be hard because they've been altered to my body. Balustig. Info: is your hair much shorter as you said in a comment, or did you buzz your head completely? Are we talking pixie cut or military? Either way, I don't think you're the bad person, but I understand your friend not wanting a literally bald bridesmaid. It's extremely materialistic of her to appreciate looks over your feelings, but if that is who she is, then don't be surprised she doesn't want a single bald head standing out in her wedding photos. She doesn't care about you. Oop. Nope, I'm not bald. It's more of a tapered cut. For info, I am black and have coarse hair. Black star 1401 NTA. I'm not sure that you will win. Though if you file in small claims and she ignores it, then you win by default. Oop, I did file in small claims and I believe she has been served. No court date yet because of COVID, but we shall see. Deleted. Even if you don't win, the look on the judge's face when she tries to explain herself will be quite something. Oop, honestly that's a big reason why I'm taking her court. I want to hear her explain herself because I never got anything besides gaslighting and being called inconsistent and disrespectful. I want to see what ridiculous reasoning she's come up with. Was there a contract? There is no contract or verbal contract. I had obliged to every single thing she wanted: dresses, shoes, makeup, jewelry. The last day of the wedding was a Monday, so even took off work. The only thing was my hair. I physically could no longer do any of the hairstyles, and wigs are just too expensive, and because of how much I had already spent, I couldn't afford one. AITA for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair. Update: this has been a long time coming. I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking what the results of the case have been. Unfortunately, I could no longer post comments on my previous post as well. I figured I would wait until everything was done to update everyone all at once. In December 2021, I got the notification that a court date had been set for February 7, 2022. It would be virtual, and since it's small claims, we would represent ourselves. I began gathering my evidence and created a virtual file which I shared with the court and her 7 days before the hearing. On the day, she did show up. We were given the chance to settle, but that was unsuccessful. When we returned to the hearing, I found out she also had made a virtual file with her evidence but never shared it with me. The court then made her share it, and what a surprise I had. She had copied my entire format for presenting evidence. Keep in mind that this is a format I created. She didn't even have the decency, or brain cells, to make something up herself. The hearing proceeded and we were both given a chance to share our side. I won't go into the details of it, but it took probably 10 to 15 minutes. In my state they do not give you the verdict right away, and it can take up to 90 days. And so, I waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. Then yesterday, May 5th, almost 90 days after, I got a verdict. I won. She has been ordered to pay me the total of $808.94 for the dresses and shoes. I have to return 2 dresses and shoes I have to her. The verdict goes into effect May 30th. I don't see her appealing it, or fingers crossed she doesn't. All in all, I am very happy with the outcome and so ready to close this chapter. Thank you to everyone who has been so invested in this with me. I hope this was the season finale you were looking forward to. P.S. My hair and health are doing much better. My 3 bald spots are growing again and I couldn't be happier. Relevant comments. Jen Behike. You'll probably not see this, but just in case, in your original post you said, honestly, that's a big reason why I'm taking her court. I want to hear her explain herself because I never got anything besides gaslighting and being called inconsistent and disrespectful. I want to see what ridiculous reasoning she's come up with. So, did she give any explanation? Nope. It was still the gaslighting and being called inconsistent and disrespectful. She never gave a proper explanation. Orc 8. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad you got your money back and your health has improved. What type of evidence did bride bring forward for her case? I talked to a lawyer friend of mine who said I should show that I never broke any contract or terms for being a bridesmaid, i.e. I was never inconsistent, didn't show up to events etc., and evidence of purchases. 1. All the receipts for dresses, shoes and dress alteration. 2. Conversations between the bride and I dating back to March 2021 showing that I mentioned my hair problems. 3. Proof that she never said if I couldn't do the hairstyles I couldn't be in the wedding. 4. Proof of being there for almost events including planning and holding multiple ones. That's the basic rundown of the categories I would say. Mouse_attack. But what did she have in her evidence file? So curious. It was so stupid. She had screenshots of our messages after I responded to her kicking me out. She also included screenshots of a reporter who reached out to her regarding my first Reddit post. And then screenshots showing me wearing a wig for my birthday, almost 3 months after the wedding, which was actually a birthday gift from my sister. The screenshots of my birthday was weird because she blocked me on Instagram. Oh, and she also included screenshots of my Instagram story and Twitter because I was sharing this story as it was happening. Not sure what she thought that evidence would do because I have every right to post on my socials what I want. Sugar repulsive. Can I ask what reporter reached out to her? Or from where they were so I can search the article? I know a reporter reached out to her cause she tried to use the messages between them as evidence. I would love to share those, but they are not mine to share and I don't want to overstep and share personal conversations. This is a repost sub, I am not the OOP. Do not contact the OOPs or comment on linked posts. Remember, Rule 7. I'm not willing to compromise my vision. It's a wedding, not an art retrospective. Some people take this stuff way too seriously. Who wants to bet the time they spent planning their wedding outlasts their actual marriage? With friends like that, who needs more enemies? I'm glad OP won at the end. Sometimes I think it really sucks that weddings being out the worst in people. But you know what? I take that back. It doesn't suck. It's a blessing in disguise. It forces those people to take their mask off and show themselves for who they really are. At least now everyone knows what kind of person their friend really is, and can make an informed decision about the future of their friendship. AKA cut their losses and run. You're the bride/groom. You have every right to have things exactly how you want them to be. Means, if your mill tries to force wedding colors on you, you can tell her to frick off. It does not mean that you get to be a raging bad person to everyone around you, dictate and control their lives, and demand to be the center of their focus for however long it takes for you to get married. Man. People are morons sometimes. After our recent conversations, I'd like to remind you of my boundaries. Heartbreaking, worst person you know learnt some therapy words. I was thinking about the reporter part. What reporter would have identified her from the Reddit story and not contacted OOP? Pretty sure Bridezilla made that part up. I wonder how the clusterfuck of collecting the judgment went. What are OOP's options if her friend refuses to reimburse her? So happy OOP won. To be honest, I might have sued for the full amount, not just the limited items. I bet Bridezilla is already divorced. If you're going to be that picky, you have to pay for everything. Woman shrugging, the bride seems loaded, so I'd what the big deal is. For info, I am black. And that explained everything. Doesn't fit my vision, yup. I hope she didn't spend too much on legal fees over a measly $808 and change. Why the hell didn't the bride just buy her a cheap wig if it was that big of a deal? For some people, the end point is having the fantastic wedding of their Disney princess dreams, and for others the end point is to be joined with the partner of their dreams and build their lives together. I think that the mindset is a large factor in determining the longevity of the marriage. The conversation with the reporter isn't personal, and since it was submitted to the court as evidence, it's no longer private either. So glad for my modcloth dress and a simple ceremony at the Science Center with catered barbecue, and a vegan option for the one person who asked. Everyone had a great time, and it will be our 10th wedding anniversary in July, our 30th anniversary together. This our vision poop is just exhausting. I wonder if that Bridezilla and her husband are still together, lol. That rubbish bin over there? I see it. I put bride in it. Bye bye bride. Nah, I am happy that OOP won. I would have gone after for more. The irony of weddings is that they're supposed to be about celebrating love with the people you care about, but it brings out the worst of the bride and or groom and pushes people away instead. I'm super happy OOP won, and good riddance to the friend. On another note, and I may get downvoted for this, but I found it super frustrating in the final update that people had to claw out of OOP the bride's side in court. Nice work OOP. Thanks you/Direct Caterpillar 77 for sharing. I'm so glad OOP got her money back. Her health has improved and sounds like she's moved on from all the toxic BS the bride was shoving at her. I'd love to know what the other bridesmaids thought about it all. TLDR, my friend thinks how her wedding looks is more important to her than me and my health. It's times like these I am so grateful for my wife and that she cut out all the exhausting friends from her life. My Bill had super long hair for my wedding, and he's very tall and thin, so he stood out a lot, and I thought he looked a bit like a Versace model. My mom wanted me to ask him to cut his hair for the wedding. My visceral disgust reaction to that suggestion kept her from asking him to do it herself, thankfully. Once upon a time, I worked as an assistant coordinator at a similar wedding. 3 days of events, close to 800 people at the actual wedding. It ended with the bride in tears because she was drunk and wanted the venue to let them stay longer. The groom tried to start a fight because the venue said they needed to leave at 3 a.m., 4 hours after the contracted out time. Not sure how long that marriage actually lasted, but I wouldn't put money on it. A 3-day wedding? What the actual F/CK? Were there elephants? They only wanted it for the aesthetics and not because of their friendship. Frowning face. My wedding was around $2K and we have been married 25 years. It's true that weddings have gotten more expensive, but ours was low cost even for the era. My best friend had hers right after and it was over 30k, they lasted about 18 months. If you enjoyed this video, check out this playlist for more of the best Reddit stories, or watch this next video for your daily dose of karma. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep the karma flowing.